Super Bowl 59 is on Westwood One.
The Philadelphia Eagles are headed to New Orleans.
Now the Chiefs are on the doorstep of history, going for a third consecutive Super Bowl.
Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Graham. Join Kevin Harlan, Kurt Warner, Laura Oakman, Gene Steratore, Devin McCourty, and me for all the action right here.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It's laundry season at Owen Home Appliance Center. Tired of that washer walking out the door and having to dry a load 2 or 3 times? It's time for a new washer and dryer. Pick from brands like Maytag, GE, Whirlpool, Electrolux, and of course, Speed Queen. Try the new 2-in-1 GE Profile that washes and dries a load all in one machine. Visit the interactive location in Lacey Springs where you can try the washers and dryers before you buy them. Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a 5th-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
It is the start of a new week and start to do a talk show for once. As well, of course, we were on Friday, but that really, it is, last week was a long week. We were still in the process of moving into our new digs, and no better way to move into our new digs than here at Woody Anderson Ford, along with the Speed Demon, Wes Neighbors. My name is Steve Moulton. It's good to have you along for the ride. And probably the biggest news right out of the gate just came down. If you did not hear Peter Burns there filling in for Paul Feinbaum, Scott Cochran is introduced as the new head football coach for Livingston State, a.k.a. the University of West Alabama, the Tigers football team. And that's a football team with a lot of history and a lot of big-time history. How are you, Wes?
I'm doing good. Surprised who they hired.
A little bit.
But wish him well nonetheless.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, who do you think's the best player to come out of Livingston?
Well, I think of a certain Super Bowl pick. I mean, you tell me.
Tariq Hill.
Malcolm Butler, and that's right.
Yeah, he played there as well. Yeah. So there's been a couple other guys as well through the years. You remember the guy that body slammed? They fined him big time. Kicked really excommunicated him out of the league within 2 years. He body slammed McMahon.
Okay.
Picked him up and body slammed him for the Green backpack.
That was a West Alabama graduate. Of course it was.
Yeah, of course it was. So anyway, yeah.
I bet they've contributed to the likes of professional wrestling as well throughout the years.
All the teams do that.
But that's a different place there in Livingston, Alabama. A beautiful place. But congratulations, Scott Cochran. It's something I know he's worked hard to.
That was his goal when he went to Georgia, was become an on-the-field coach, and
that's
he
right.
wanted to be a head coach. And I don't think it worked out exactly as planned, but
yeah, here you go.
Here he is. He's got his shot. So make it happen.
That's right. And good resources there. Bobby Wallace, the athletic director, and reached out to Coach Wallace. And obviously this has just happened, so we'll chase this as best we can. It is Super Bowl week. And by the way, for those of you wondering, yes, Jerry Glanville is going to join us this week. He's going to join us tomorrow. And his words, not mine, are words that will shock the nation in regards to Super Bowl 59. So looking forward to talking to Coach Glanville tomorrow here on the program. Just got through with the Senior Bowl, and I always keep an eye on it as well. There was a couple of players from this state, and I know quite a few people want to just jump right into Jalen Milroe, but I mean at Alabama A&M, Jacksonville State, there was a couple of participants there. Jim Nagy, the executive director, is going to join us just here in a little bit to dive into that, because when you take a look at what Jim has built down there, he took over in 2018. It's hard to believe, 2018, but the first round picks just from last year alone, with the Senior Bowl invites from last year, 110 picks. That shattered all the records from previous Senior Bowls. The previous year was 100 total picks, but the most in a single year was last year at 110. So there is no doubt that Jim has that eye for talent, and I'm curious to get his take on. I know we've talked about your experiences in Mobile as well, and we need to go back there.
Yeah, I mean, well, had to move the studio, or we'd be probably in the Super Bowl as well this week. But
yeah, we would.
Yeah, so it's and last week would have been at the Senior Bowl. You know, the Senior Bowl is, to me, it's almost like it's like a reunion for the coaches.
Yeah.
Right. They all go down there, but they don't stay for the game. They stay Monday through Wednesday.
That's right.
They go, they scout, they interview the players. It's the first time really you get interviewed. After this, when they get serious, they'll fly you up to the different cities and do a more enhanced physical. And, you know, but it's the beginning process. It's the first step to getting drafted.
I'll never forget the handful of years we went down there. I want to say 3 or 4 years in a row of the guys in the lobby of just that circle that some guys would just be circling.
Well, a lot of people down there are looking for jobs too.
That's exactly right.
For whatever reason, kind of reconnecting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a social thing also for the coaches and scouts. And it's a jumping place, for a starting place for a lot of people as well. And you have unbelievable access. Reason we always like going because we have access to the players, and
Just
some of
plop
our
down
best
now.
interviews we had were with guys that you wouldn't have any access to the rest of the time.
Yeah.
So that's what we went for, and
we
had
need
some
to go
awesome
back.
shows.
Yeah,
we say we're going to go back every year, but it seems like something's always stopped.
But it feels like this is finally we're settling into some new digs with our new building. That finally we can just.
And we were supposed to move in December.
That's right.
We didn't move.
We were literally supposed to be. We got approved. To be on Radio Row down in New Orleans, but just stuff happens.
Yes.
So, so we will talk with Jim Nagy coming up here momentarily, the executive director of the Reese's Senior Bowl, to get his take on what was a very busy week. And I know not a lot of attention is paid on the game itself, and watched a little highlights because I was fairly busy on Saturday, but the American team coached by the Cleveland Browns beat the national team 22-19 was that final score. And Jack Beach was the MVP there, a wide receiver from TCU, but a lot made of Jalen Milroe, of what kind of week he had. And this is an important time for Jalen Milroe.
Connor trained that kid the last 2 weeks.
Really?
Before the game. Yeah, he's from Lafayette, Louisiana.
Of course he is. There's always a tie. There's always a tie.
But it was so good to see. It's so good to see him do that. That was, that had to be the most special thing in the world. And the way everybody reacted, it has to be tough losing your brother like that.
Can't imagine. I really can't. A couple of Auburn players on that team as well, led by Eugene Asante. And I'm curious to see what kind of week he had. And, of course, stock up, stock down. There is always that angle that I've heard quite a bit from Charles Davis and Daniel Jeremiah, who were there covering it for the NFL Network, as they always do. So we'll get into the Senior Bowl here. We'll also have a chance to take your phone calls. We're walking you up to Hey Coach and the Nate Oates Show. And I guess that's the other thing is the new rankings came out in college basketball. 1 is Auburn, 2 is Duke, 3 is Alabama. I mean,
that's unbelievable.
Can you just wrap your head around Auburn, Duke, Bama?
So I knew, and it's well documented on the show, when Auburn hired Bruce Pearl, I said it's the best thing ever happened.
That's right.
To not only Auburn basketball, but Alabama basketball.
And here we are.
2025. I never thought, though, that it'd be one. And, Alabama's been number one.
Yeah.
Auburn's been number one before, but not for very long, not in the middle of the season.
And not at the same time.
Not at the same time.
This is bananas.
Yeah, it is. And the whole SEC is bananas.
Well, I do feel the need to give a shout out to the UAH Chargers, tying a school record 20 in a row now, 20 straight wins. Awesome. And the new rankings came out, and UAH is 3rd in the country and the latest rankings that came out. So I'm telling you, college.
Where's UAB? What happened to UAB? Come on, UAB.
I'm going to have to dive in. My brother's a season ticket holder for UAB, and he told me that Tony from our area really playing well for UAB. So I'm glad to hear about Tony performing well there for the Blazers. But there is a lot, and UNA is doing awfully well, and the ASUN, and there's a lot of really good college basketball here in the state of Alabama. So it is really cool to think about what the atmosphere and what quality of basketball we're going to get here in a couple of weeks when the IBOB happens. A week from Saturday is the first one with Auburn and Alabama. That is just that's going to be a whole lot of fun. The potential, and I've heard experts, Seth Davis said, could you imagine this matchup happening 4 times? 2 during the regular season, 1 in the conference tournament, and maybe 1 in the Final Four. if there is a Final Four of Auburn and Alabama, we need to be there. I mean,
yeah,
we need to be there.
Where is it though?
I'm gonna have
That's
to look.
It all matters where it is.
Yeah, and that's early April as well, the weekend before the Masters, and that's just a few weeks until our golf tournament. That we always this will be what, year three?
Year three
for our Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Have people from Birmingham all over coming because they say it's the best tournament they play in every year, which is really a testament to you guys. I mean, our sponsors and our employees and Tom and the guys that put on and just the Tom Abraham who heads it up, do an excellent job, and everybody has a really good time.
But I mean, that's right around the corner if you really think about it. Yeah, feel free to come on by.
Well, I had surgery last year, so couldn't make it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll hopefully hear from Jim Nagy. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and take an early timeout. We will hopefully.
Jim's a hard guy to get a hold of. He's a very busy guy.
I guess so. So let's take an early timeout. I'll try to get a hold of the executive director of the Reese's Senior Bowl here during this break as we're live here at Woody Anderson Ford. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Are you trying to find a new house? Are you trying to find the right loan, the right people to do your loan? Look no further than the Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green. John Kendall, the vice president of mortgage with me. John, when they need a loan, and I say they, when people need a loan, it's about them.
That's right, Scott. Our whole motto is it's all about you. We're going to be okay. You're the one making the investment. We want to make sure that you're taken care of.
How do they find you?
Give us a call at 256-507-9180, or they can catch us online at bankofFrankEwing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green, where they take the home loan to you and they make it all about you. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDI insured bank, as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
So is this a test for me, Brian? Because I messed up the band name. What was that, like 2 weeks ago? Is this?
Oh no, this is Segway Bait. If you're if you're driving in a bummed out combi, you need to go to Woody Anderson Ford. Those of you watching on WZZN TV are looking at a beautiful 57 Thunderbird. It's on the showroom there. Come by and look at that. All the great vehicles at Woody Anderson Ford.
That's right in front of us. Yeah,
right there. It's a beautiful piece of machinery. And if you don't drive a Ford, don't worry about it, because they got the quick lane out in front. They also have service that comes to you. They can service on anything. They brought my 03 Tundra back to life. So don't worry about that. There's great people to deal with in the service department, sales department, and just happy for our partnership with Woody Anderson Ford.
Absolutely. Bobby White and the great staff here at Woody Anderson Ford. And yeah, that Thunderbird right in front of us. I could not help but want to show off. It's really
like
pretty.
It's restored. Period. Right. Period.
And there is a front tag on it that just says Georgia Tech on it. But other than that, it is gorgeous. And there is a Ramblin' Wreck inside here as well.
Oh, they have the Ramblin' Wreck Model A.
Yeah. If you noticed, I did not want to set up the camera close to that. I'd rather take a look at the Thunderbird
piece of machine.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, go see Bobby White. Go see Tim White over in service, and for those of you who fleet service for your company, Woody Anderson Ford's a great people to talk to as well.
Wes is buying a truck right now. I'm not joking. We're in the showroom. He's multitasking and buying a truck right now. But anyway.
And don't worry if you don't drive a Ford, you can still work. My 03 Toyota Tundra, they can work on that.
So, and they've worked on my Toyota Corolla. So it's all good here.
Back in a former life, I brought them a variety of vehicles. They took care of all of them.
We are still in the holding pattern for Jim Nagy at the moment, the executive director of the Reese's Senior Bowl. He is probably getting a little busy, but I was surprised when he texted me back earlier this afternoon. But hopefully we'll dive into Senior Bowl 2025 and the week that was down there in Mobile. But a story, it feels like we've already covered this story pretty thoroughly, but Ryan Grubb is the new offensive coordinator at the University of Alabama. I was not overly shocked to read this news, and especially when I think it had to do more with the lack of feelers maybe that he was getting from other NFL teams, but it is now set that Alabama has hired Ryan Grubb as the offensive coordinator, and this is someone that Nick Saban wanted back in the day.
Yeah, well, he's did well at Washington. I mean,
I want to argue he also did well with the Seahawks. If you take a look at the numbers, especially with Geno's numbers,
right? Yeah, I don't know, don't know that situation at all.
Yeah,
just so interested. Nick Sheridan staying.
Yes, that's right.
And wondering how that semantics worked. Has there been a formal announcement
I've
yet?
not had a press release in my email box. I'll check it right now.
To see what Drew says about that as well. So, I don't know why everybody's so negative about Alabama. They lost through, the 3 games, and
well, it's the fans that I'm hearing more negativity about.
Yeah, I don't know
why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's all on social media, though. They're reading stuff on social media. Some of it's true, some of it's not. And I don't think they're happy, but I don't want them to be happy. But I don't want to be really crazy either. I mean, this guy is who are we going to hire? Who's out there that you're going to hire, be able to hire, that took their team to a national championship game? That doesn't happen by accident.
No,
especially at Washington.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be one thing I think is that is negative, but this was the same criticism they gave Coach Saban, that he didn't recruit enough Alabama guys from the state of Alabama.
But you went there a touch. I remember you going there because it means a little bit more to the guys of putting that jersey on.
I think now in NIL times,
to
me it makes better sense now than ever. Because here's guys that are from this town, from this state,
mm-hmm.
and it's harder for them to take money to leave, right? I mean, Alabama doesn't have to be the biggest offer, right?
Yeah,
Sure, they're going to have to pay them something, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be the best offer for them to stay, and then it's harder for them to leave as well.
Yeah.
And I think there's some really good players from the state. You look at Ohio State and how many people they had from Alabama on their team, or Alabama ties. You look at
mm-hmm.
The running back was from Montgomery.
That's right.
Nobody talks about that.
Yeah.
That was at Ole Miss. I mean, Alabama and Auburn both missed him.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just think that there's some merit to that criticism. Other than that, the discipline last year on the team, I'd like to see that better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you will. I think we saw it better at the end, him holding people accountable. And a lot of the guys they let leave, and I say let leave because, they had offers to other places. Alabama could have matched some of these offers easily and decided not to because of discipline. One of the receivers who I thought was the best blocker was one of those examples.
Yeah.
That kept getting penalties, personal foul penalties, and you just can't do that. I mean, Coach Bryant would have kicked him off for getting a personal foul penalty in a game. You never see that guy again. And you know what? LSU did the same thing. One year they kicked the guy off. It was leading tackler of their team, and nobody even asked a question about him ever again. He was Micah something or another. I remember him. He was a little bitty guy that just made play after play after play after play, and got a big penalty in a game, a personal foul penalty, very selfish penalty. Listen, you're gonna have people cheap shot you. And there's ways to handle it, there's ways not. Giving your team a 15-yard penalty and costing you the game is the way you don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of ways to do it the right way. You're going to see that guy, and you'll be able to get him back. And if you don't get him back, we used to get him back for the next team. If a guy was cheap shotting, that's the way the game's supposed to be played. You see a guy cheap shotting in the game before the next game, he was
here we go.
Yeah. I mean, you better not be standing around that pile and the whistle ain't blown. Yeah, you're gonna find yourself and you're sliding on the back of your head. So that that's why you do it. I mean, you don't hit after the whistle though. Can't do it.
Well, I did see a story now that we have a little bit of time here, and it was from NCAA.com, and it was about the simplification of rules for college football. And it's kind of been tucked away, but I have, of course, reached out to Steve Shaw, and they are reviewing maybe simplifying some rules. This is a rule change year, by the way, for college football.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
what are they gonna come up with now?
I'm just telling you,
you're not allowed to look at the quarterback.
I'm hopeful. There are certain rules in this game that are just crazy, and there is simplification needs to take place for the health of the sport, because it's frustrating for me, and I would assume for you and a lot of hardcore college football fans, because at the base of it, we all just want to watch good college football.
To me, everything should be reviewable. It needs to be just right. And some of the stuff you didn't have to stop the game to do. The call, so I'm Alabama centric. I'm sure there's something for everybody, that Auburn, everybody that can point to a call that was just horrendous. And mine's the Oklahoma game. I mean, it might have changed, possibly changed. Listen, I think the first call was wrong that they reviewed.
I'm trying to remember it. But yeah, that call in particular, illegal touching, I think that's what it was. That was, yeah.
Nobody's ever said anything about it. We have not gotten, you can't get the SEC office.
But they are capable of making immediate changes. They did it during the year. Oregon caused an immediate rule change inside of a football season.
Right.
So
I've never seen that before.
So it can happen. And so that's something needs to be done, because if you take a look at the television numbers, that'll show you, nothing's wrong with the sport. Everything's completely healthy. But I don't really subscribe to that theory that the sport's in trouble.
Well, I think it is. Well, I mean, I've been saying that. I think that they're playing too many games, Steve. I've been saying that. They're talking about playing more. It's a mistake. You saw the numbers come down again. They make excuses and this or that. It was at this time. I see fatigue. I see the NIL and all that's going on around it. The people not interested in it. They know it's the team last year with the highest payroll.
Yeah.
One thing.
Well, what is that going to do to this year?
Well, yeah, it's made it worse. Like I hope they failed, and they didn't.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Well, I saw a story yesterday about prices going up for football.
Well, there's no question. Oh, well, yeah. Well, they got to pay for it somewhere, and which is going to hurt it more. I think. I mean, I just think that it's the only thing that's going to save it and can save it. I don't know if they will. Is Congress. They're going to have to do something. I'm hoping, the only thing I had high hope is when we had Auburn's athletic director on, he's such a great guy. And he said that he thought good changes were coming,
but we needed to be patient.
Yeah.
I remember him saying that.
I do too. I didn't really remember it till then, but I've been disappointed that we haven't done something, because what's happening now is there's nobody, I'm sure there's some people out there, but most of these recruits have agents, which there's no reason. Why does a recruit need an NIL agent? Because it isn't NIL. It's just paying players.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they have, and so the agent tells them where to go. I mentioned this last week. It's not the kid making responsibility. I'm going to go get this degree. That's all out the window. All this important stuff that was so important 10 years ago is not important anymore.
Well, I did notice a story from Colorado, of all places, where it was about the grade point average that was put out there, and some ran with it. I think it was over 3.0 is what I want to say for the Buffs, and that was the first time.
Well, because Dion makes them go to class. That's what my Saban graduated so many. He makes them go to class. If you go to class, it's hard not to learn something if you're paying attention. It really is. I mean, it's not, most of these courses aren't that, it's about going to class and just learning the material.
Yep.
I mean, everybody can do that.
But we shall see what this looks like moving forward. There's a lot around this.
Yeah, but it's easily fixable. Really, it really is. We just need guardrails put up. And if the guardrails go up, then it makes it, simple.
So
in my mind, it does.
When we last talked to Tim May, who covers Ohio State, he said
we were right here when we were doing it.
That's exactly right.
He got mad at me.
Yes, he did. But he put a price tag because I asked him about the overall payroll, and he thought it was around $30 million. That, I mean, and if anything, if there is, and I am of the belief that we're probably not going to get anything concrete done before next football season.
Well, that's 50% more than the average team.
Yeah.
Well, most people, they said, was 20 million.
And I'm really just focused on the SEC and the Big Ten.
Right. So, yeah. And most of these schools don't pay 10 million. I mean, I don't think many schools pay 10 million. But the big schools did, and they spent 50% more than most of these schools and the big schools, most of the big schools, and they won the national championship. So that's opened it. What's going on now, which is basically, you saw Lane Kiffin say today that, recruiting has turned into the highest bidder, and that's all it is. So that's where I was hoping it wouldn't go. We're here.
Thanks, Ohio State.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of money wasted. I'm telling you that. You look, I mean, if you recruit 30 people, you're lucky if 10 of those in that class graduate. Everybody else is either.
You've said plenty of times of how many were in your dad's class that showed up, and then how many graduated?
8.
Yeah, I mean,
they went the whole time. Yeah, 4 years, 8.
Of course, that was a different deal too.
Yeah, there was a different deal.
How many people were on track? And
my dad's on a basketball. No, he was on a track scholarship. Yeah, he was a shot putter. He did every shot put. Only went to home meets. He'd go over there and put the shot in his cleats and his football pants. They let him take off his shoulder pads in the track meet.
Isn't that nice of him?
They drive over there in a golf cart too.
A golf cart.
Yeah,
wow, that's first class right there.
Yeah,
place for your shoulder pads right there.
Yeah, he said they had. There's some guy, one of the littlest guys, was a running back or something, was on a basketball scholarship, and he had to dress out, and they used to give him hell. Yeah, I was looking at some pictures. I guess after the spring game of after the I guess in '62, they all got a suitcase with from the A club, and all the players that lettered that year got a suitcase, and it was interesting just seeing, my dad is a 22-year-old, and Pat Trammell, Mal Moore, Mike Hopper from here in Huntsville. It was just Hopper Hardware.
Mm-hmm.
His dad owned Hopper Hardware. Yeah, so it was cool seeing Benny Nelson.
Yep.
We found his ugly mug. I'm just kidding, Benny. So yeah, it was fun to see that picture and just and how Brian Denny wasn't a total bowl then even. It had like temporary bleachers in the end zone. It's 1962. It's just incredible seeing the picture and all that's changed.
Goodness, that's been a minute.
Yes, it has.
What was that, like 60 years, something like that?
62. So that's what 62 years ago.
I got a suitcase in college too. And my old man said, "There's the door."
When you said that, I was thinking chances are there's not going to be a whole lot of gifts of suitcases right now.
I think they get suitcases, but now, Steve, it's filled with a bunch of great stuff.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, there was bales of hay back in the day dropped from planes.
Yeah, that was
right?
in Texas, though. That was in Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
They're still doing that, but now the bales have a little hay in the middle and a lot of green on the outside.
Still been a minute there for A&M to win a championship. Well,
they're working hard to do it, though.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. We'll see what happens. 256-576-4977, the telephone number. My apologies on Jim Nagy, but if he does hop in, it'd be nice to talk to him. But we always would like to talk to you out there on the phone lines at 256-576-4977. So Ryan Grubb getting hired how big of a deal do you think this is?
Well, I don't know. We'll find out. I mean, the guy's a really good coach, supposed to be the coach last year, actually hired him this second time. Maybe he'll stay this time.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Last year, a minute.
Yeah. Last year it led to him getting a better, bigger job. You have to say offensive coordinator in the NFL teams is better than offensive coordinator at Alabama. We don't agree with that, but they let him go, right? I mean, he was fired. So, but his numbers seem good. So I don't. It's the NFL.
Sounds like I need to call Big Walt.
Yeah, yeah. The thing about coaching is, Chip Kelly just left the national championship team.
He did
to be a coordinator at another school.
Raiders, actually.
It's the recruiting.
Yeah.
And the NIL and all what's going on is causing these coaches to leave.
And he just left Ohio State to go to the Raiders.
Exactly. Not as the head coach.
Yeah, offensive coordinator.
The side job, because nobody wants to deal with that stuff.
Well, Gus Malzahn left UCF to be the OC at Florida State.
Yeah, but I think that was a push out the door, to be honest with you. That's what I heard. They got their guy back. They got their coach back.
And Scott Frost.
Yeah, which was
that's where the magic happened.
Yeah, when he was there. And I think that the Gus Malzahn didn't have the kind of year they thought he had, or I thought he'd have too.
Well, right out of the gate, they were 3-0.
Yeah, they looked
and
good.
I was looking at it, and all of a sudden 3-3, and I get boat raced by Colorado.
Yes.
And
in a game they were favored to win.
That's right. I think by almost 2 touchdowns.
And when that happens, it's not very good for the head coach.
Never. But he is in Tallahassee.
If it's a one-off, it's different. Yeah. So he's got problems there too.
And I think Bama opens up with Florida State.
Yeah.
So they get to see the old Gus Bus one more time.
Double reverse pass. We ain't covered it yet. He scores every time he runs it.
You want to tell Kalen at SEC media?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get
double reverse pass.
The double reverse pass. They get us every year with it.
It's coming.
Yeah,
we're telling you.
It's
in
really
February.
a double reverse throwback, usually to the quarterback, but not always, because they drag a tight end across too. It's just, people going everywhere.
Eye candy all over the
it's
place.
A linebacker. What you have to find is it's the dumb linebackers that get you every time that maybe a little dyslexics, and they're supposed to follow the guard and they don't. Because what you're doing is you're pulling your guards the opposite way the ball is, because the linebackers are trained to follow the guards, right? But occasionally, they don't do the read right, and they'll get lost and they'll go the wrong way, and they're the ones that blow the play up. But if you don't have a guy like that, you're in big trouble.
We're live here at Woody Anderson Ford, and this place is always spectacular here at Woody Anderson Ford, and who knows who's going to buy a Bronco or a truck or something, right?
You never know.
You never know. Let's go ahead and take our final time out. Final call for phone calls as we're live here at Woody Anderson Ford. Goggles Paisano going to make his way.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Electric cars are coming faster than you think, and that's why we're bringing SEMA Connect to Alabama.
Our team educates you and helps provide a long-term plan for your business. Where to put them, how to get them there, how to pay for them, tax incentives, service, and monitoring. We take care of everything.
Doing the right thing means bringing EV car chargers to Alabama. Let us help you with your EV charging plan.
Howdy, folks. Bob Baumhauer here. Whether you're planning a tailgate party at the game, cheering for your favorite teams at home, or at your local Baumhauers with your family and friends, we're here to make your football party legendary with our party-ready tray selections. From our always fresh buttermilk fried chicken tenders to the homemade Nana's chicken salad, and of course, our fresh, never frozen, award-winning buffalo-style chicken wings. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Expect mostly clear skies for this Monday night. Low temperatures are expected to fall into the low 50s for the overnight. Heading into Tuesday, expect partly sunshine. High temperatures topping out in the lower 70s for the afternoon, and it looks like rain will return back to the forecast early Wednesday morning. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo. You know, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Bangkok, Oriental City, the city don't know, but the city is the creme de la creme of the chess world in a show with everything but Yul Brynner.
Final call for phone calls. Walking you up to Hey Coach and the Nate Oates Show, live here from Woody Anderson Ford. West Neighbors, Steve Moulton here with you. And the top 2 teams in SEC basketball right here in this state. Auburn is undefeated at 8-0. Alabama 8-1, followed by Missouri at 6-2. Texas A&M is 6-3.
So Missouri's played just one less game, right?
That is right. That's right.
One less game.
Florida is 5-3. Tennessee, they had a big win, a game that you heard right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. A little bounce back win after what Florida did to Tennessee. They almost did it to Florida. Tennessee is now 5-4, and they did that without Ziegler too, as he is still recovering. Ole Miss, boy, they're 5-4. Likewise with Tennessee. Vanderbilt's 4-4, and then there's Kentucky at 4-4 too, as they got upended by the Hogs, who are now 2-6. As Arkansas gets a win at Rupp Arena.
Wow. So, but it seems like.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That was had to be.
And let's go to Jeff. I'm guessing our boy from the.
Well, I already called him today. I heard him.
Yeah, this morning on the morning show. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to still install our delay button. Anyway, but it was not needed this morning.
I got you. But
everybody know. Okay, so I just let the cat out of the bag. For those of you that do call in, please be kind. We're gonna hopefully install that tomorrow as we are still moving into our new digs. But yeah, big win for the Arkansas Razorbacks. as they have been struggling ever since SEC play. It took them, I think they were 0-5 before their first SEC win, but now they're 2-6. But Kentucky's 4-4, and they had a sparkling non-conference part of their resume. And Georgia's 3-6, and they got taken out to the woodshed by Alabama over the weekend. But that there's no harm in that. Your winless team in SEC play is South Carolina. They're 0-9 in SEC play. LSU's 1-7. So I have not seen a whole lot of South Carolina.
Truthfully, I've watched South
LSU.
Carolina and LSU, and they're not bad basketball teams. They just haven't put it together yet. They'll win. They'll win a game for it's over with. Of course, South Carolina's best player, is he still out? He was out.
I don't know that. I'll have to look into that. That's the only team that's below 500 overall. South Carolina's 10-12 on the year. So it's February. So this is time to start paying it. Well, not March. But, I mean, if anything, seeing the non-conference and how dominant this conference has been certainly made everybody pay attention to SEC basketball. Maybe for the first time when we were talking SEC basketball in November.
Well, now Auburn's only loss is to Duke.
That's right.
Duke
That's right.
A very close game.
That's right.
They're playing very well.
20-1.
Yeah, defense. I mean, they have not played very good in several games. But their defense, and then they make big shots at the end. But it's their defense at the end that's just stifling. I mean, their defense is really good the whole game. It's their offense at times that have struggled. They still win because they're so good on defense.
That Auburn-Tennessee game from not this past weekend, but the weekend before.
Yeah, he missed a three at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And that thing rattled.
Sure
so,
did.
I mean,
but then they turned around and scored 92 at Ole Miss. So, I mean, they just that's a special team.
There's no question.
That's a special team right there that Auburn has. And by the way, Andy Burcham, the voice of the Auburn Tigers, going to join us later on this week. 256-576-4977, the telephone number if you'd like to be a part of the program. And again, coming up is Hey Coach and the Nate Oates Show coming up at the top of the hour. I also did get an email from the LSU SID setting the spring practice schedule. Their first spring practice is set for March the 8th, and their spring game is set for April 12th. Their pro day is March 26th.
That's all coming up. Not far now.
How important of a year is it for Brian Kelly?
Well, I mean,
it feels like a lot of SEC coaches are on the cusp of a very warm seat.
Yeah, but here's the deal. They can't fire him.
What, that was a 10-year deal?
Well, they're NIL. They're better off buying the players and guys that are decent coaches. I mean, that's what – I mean, Billy Napier just won enough to be there and have hope. But they decided, well, who are we going to bring in? Another unproven, undue coach with no NIL money. You're still paying your ex-coach. The best thing that ever happened to these coaches, I mean, is NIL.
Jimmy Sexton.
Yeah, the head coaches. Yeah. It's the best and worst thing that ever happened, because the best thing is these guys can't, it's almost impossible to fire them. I mean, they'd have to pay him $50 million, something crazy like that.
What did a 10-year deal? This is year 4 for him.
Yeah.
At LSU.
And this year he gave $1 million to NIL.
He
matched. He said if you raised $1 million, I mean,
isn't that kind of paying yourself a little bit too?
Not really. I mean, to me, you give it away, you give it away. I mean, yeah. But yeah, I think he's just showing he had committed that he was trying to get other people to commit to NIL, so he committed it himself.
So his first 3 years, 4 losses, 3 losses, 4 losses. So it feels like he's always has a good win, but always has a bad loss, and never right out of the gate. I can't remember the last time LSU won their first game of the year.
Well, yeah, it's been a minute. They play some good teams, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
USC was a good team last year.
I think at the beginning of the year they were. I mean,
when they were healthy.
Yeah, and the injuries just devastated. They had some guys walk away too. I mean, that Barry Alexander just quit in the middle of the year. I mean, it's hard to overcome all that. Defensive linemen and offensive linemen
So I asked this morning, I ran the board for the Blitz this morning after we got through talking about Ryan Grubb, who more on a hot seat this year. Is it Hugh Freeze or is it Kalen DeBoer?
You got to be kidding me, right? Really?
You don't think that's a stupid question to ask?
100%.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you have a guy that hadn't had a winning season yet.
I know
he hadn't gone to a bowl game.
I realize that,
and he's about to be in his third or fourth year.
So it's an insane question to ask.
I think so.
Okay. And you know what?
Is Kirby on the hot seat?
Oh no.
Well,
they won an SEC championship.
Yeah, but if they don't win it this year, is he on the hot seat?
No.
Well, I mean, I guarantee there'll be rumblings in Georgia because they're not going to be as good as they think they're going to be. I mean, it's impossible to put those teams together now. It's whoever's going to buy the best team. It's not going to be Georgia. You're not going to be outpay people.
So who's set up to win moving forward the best? Their program.
I think the Big Ten in this series is the top schools in the Big Ten. They have the most money.
So you're talking Michigan,
yeah, you got
Ohio State. Who else are you putting in there?
Well,
certainly you don't think Indiana's going to do what they did again this year.
No, they're going to be good because they got a good coach.
Yeah.
And they don't play anybody. If they play the same schedule, yeah, they will. I mean, they have to play
and then they'll put them back in the tournament again.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, to me, if you don't have strength of schedule, the SEC is in big trouble. They have.
Well, basketball has Ken Palm, and I know we look at Sarrigan, and it feels like we need to have a real conversation with College Football Playoff Committee on valuing strength of schedule.
Well, they didn't. I mean, that's obvious.
Yeah,
they wouldn't. I mean, if they did, Alabama would have got in. Now.
Well, Indiana, SMU, I mean, those two teams really jumped off the page of
if you don't
how deserving were those teams.
Man, you need to be undefeated if you have or at least
if your strength of schedule is 60, what, like above 50?
I think it's 65.
Okay,
so
above 60.
I mean, if you're you ought to have an automatic loss when you're looking at it. That's what I would think they would do.
Yeah.
But listen, Alabama stocked up the game, and so you look at Jalen Milroe. Let's look at Jalen Milroe right now. To me, he is an unbelievable athlete, but is he tough? I'll say no. Did you see him try to tackle a guy from Oklahoma? Did you see he didn't want to get hit last half of the season, starting the Tennessee game on? He didn't want to take a lick. Occasionally, he'd give a lick, but he'd just fall down. I mean, you can't win doing that. You cannot win with a running. You got him because you get a running quarterback. You can't throw with turnovers. We had 12 turnovers the last 3 games. When we beat Auburn, but Auburn wasn't a very good football. Let's not kid ourselves. We're not a very good football team. I mean, Alabama had 4 turnovers and beat them.
That's right.
So you can't beat anybody with 4 turnovers. Example, his first game at Texas A&M, right? Remember he started when played unbelievable but had 4 turnovers, but lost the game. You cannot win with 4 turnovers. You just can't. You're going to get beat 90% of the time. And that's what he never got over the turnovers. And you could see it in his eyes after he made the first one. He just totally.
But then you'd have flashes like the first half of the Georgia game.
Unbelievable. And he played the whole Georgia game pretty good. He didn't play bad the whole. I mean, he would show flashes of greatness, and you would think, but then he'd always fall back to So, and he fell back at the end of the year, and his performance in the bowl game was horrendous
against Michigan.
Yeah, and we don't have enough discipline. You have to have discipline around them. I look forward to more of a traditional type offense. And I think the defense played good enough to win most of the games. The only game they were outcoached, in my opinion, defensively.
Yeah,
in the Vanderbilt game.
I will tell you, I have attempted. I've reached out to Alabama 2 different times and got a no both times, and trying to get Kalen DeBoer on the program. So I'm I've tried, and I will try again.
Yeah.
And really,
see what we can do about that.
Yeah. All we are is an affiliate up here in North Alabama. So we've had Coach DeBoer on at SEC Media Days, but I will continue to effort that out. But because I think the word discipline is something that I'd like to hear from him as well.
Well, it didn't take a rocket science to see that. I mean, you look at people getting put. I mean, Tennessee games, somebody got a personal foul at the end of the game that made it almost impossible. I mean, until then, there was at least hope. You had hope that they could get in and just down by one score. Turn the ball over at the 2 or at the 1 on first down. Come on. To me, the worst team this year that underperformed there was Texas. Texas had the best talent that I've seen in a long time.
I was going to say Ole Miss.
Who you going to take, Quinn Ewers or
Jackson Dart?
I wouldn't take. I'd take Quinn Ewers every day. Yeah, and then look at the offensive line. I mean, the offensive line at Ole Miss was their issue.
Well, yeah.
So the offensive line of Texas they're going to have the number 1 pick or 2. I mean, they'll have two or three guys going, and then you just look at their defensive players.
Texas had severe issues at tailback in fall camp.
Yeah, but they have talent. I mean, those guys are talented. To me, you got to be tough. And you didn't have to worry about coaching tough when Coach Saban was out of Alabama, because he held you to a standard and he held you there. And he would just go off on you if you weren't doing what you were supposed to do. I don't see that at Texas. Texas, I'm holding my fingers, is an inch away to being great. But they have trouble going 4 quarters with a tough team. And Ohio State and Georgia.
Saw it against Georgia. Yeah.
Are tough teams twice.
Yeah.
You're gonna have trouble beating tough team when you're not hard nosed enough to put it on the 1 and run the ball straight at them. You have a quarterback, and they've got this thing called your first down. I'm running quarterback sneak 4 times. If you don't make it, you don't deserve to win.
The story of the day, well, at least the story of the evening, Scott Cochran named as the new head football coach at the University of West Alabama. Well, D2 GSC football there in Livingston. Congratulations to Scott Cochran, of course, the former head strength coach at LSU, Alabama, and at Georgia. Was also a special teams coach at the University of Georgia there for a minute as well. So congratulations there to Scott Cochran. And there is no doubt that we'll keep a close eye on the Tigers moving forward. A big thank you to Woody Anderson Ford for hosting us. Hey, Coach. And the Nate Oates Show is next. Jerry Glanville will be on with us tomorrow to break down Super Bowl 59. Words that will shock a nation. His words, not mine.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful